Welcome all. Welcome to my channel. Um, Welcome to this video. You're welcome to leave a comment. Let me know your comments and such. Please leave if you never a comment. I do read my comments. I don't entirely fact check, by the way. That's one thing I don't do is I don't entirely fact check, and a lot of this stuff is my opinion alone. So programming languages, like the odd base of like is it better Python better? Is Rust better? Go better? Or C++? You know what? They're all popular, but let's go with the first one, or Scala for that matter. Let's go with Python and Scala, right? Like Python, basically, it is a general purpose language, of course, but it's used for a lot of web development as well as machine learning, scientific stuff, basically, and data analysis. It has a very large active community. That's one aspect as well too. And there are definitely many number of libraries or libs and frameworks that you can use for it. It's slightly easier to learn compared to, especially for beginners, compared to let's say Scala, which it's concise and expressive. It's the better of Java, where it's at least more concise and more expressive. It's good for building large scale distributed systems, and definitely has some support for functional languages. Um, Scala can definitely be run on JVMs, whereas Python and such you always have to compile for that particular uh, OS and such. And then of course it can use a lot of the libraries and frameworks that are also available in the Java ecosystem for that matter. I mean, it depends what you want to use for Scala, but if you want to start to learn out, I would say with Python first more than anything else. But if you're going to work with large distributed systems, specifically with some functional programming, Scala might be a better fit for you in that situation. But then you might say, okay, what about Python versus Rust? Again, Python, because it's simple and such, it's your general, for it's a general all-purpose programming language, or not all-purpose, but general-purpose programming language. Rust is more of like think of it like a systems programming language, basically more than anything else. It was designed to be fast and efficient, um, and safe, depending how you write for it, basically. It's usually use Rust for low level systems like OSs, which is good for, or even file systems for that matter, and sometimes even networking environments. It's a little bit more complex than Python, of course, and it's not easy to learn. To be quite honest, if you don't know programming well, then Rust is not the language to learn start off with. If you want to start off with Python, it becomes easier for it to do. But it is very powerful. Let's put it that way. It is very, very powerful in that situation. Um, Now, you could say, oh, well, what about Go? Well, it is also designed for, it came out of Google, of course, too. And well, Rust was out of Mozilla. Go was, from Google, basically. Um, they almost are similar in a way. There's a lot of similarities between the two, but there are a lot of differences between those two, basically. Um, if you know, Whereas at least with syntax, when it comes syntax wise, Go is much simpler and easier to learn if you're like more experienced in C and C++, where for Go. Whereas Rust, of course, again is a little bit more complex syntax, uh, and it does offer some more advanced features that Go doesn't have entirely, and that's why you might be seeing people going towards the Rust route. Concurrency, both Rust and Go support concurrency really well, but they approach it differently though. Go has a built-in support for lightweight Go routines that can be spawned and managed, whereas Rust uses kind of like the borrowing and ownership type of thing to for the safety of the concurrency mode. Um, Rust is definitely was designed to be more of a safe systems programming language, and it prevents some of the more common programming errors that you go into, like null or dangling pointers, which references which I've left a lot of. I'll be honest with you about that. Um, where I guess Go, it doesn't have those safety guarantees, like C++ and such. I mean, like it's Rust is definitely safer. I mean, like, uh, but it's much easier to write when it comes to concurrent code though, compared to Rust. Uh, now Go, of course, Go and Rust both have a large community, of course, and have a lot of available resources online. Uh, Now Go has been around, I guess, just slightly longer than Rust. I don't know, maybe by 3 years, I think, or something like that. Uh, and I don't know. It all depends, between Rust and Go, what you want to do, basically. I mean, Go, if you need a safer, more powerful language, then yeah, go with Rust, uh, with performance and correctness. Whereas Go, you want to, build more highly concurrent systems, but much more easier to learn. Then yeah, go the Go route. Now, I mentioned it quite a number of times, the C++. Uh, it's really, really your low level programming, basically. I mean, it's I mean, like Microsoft is, well, actually, Windows is built on with C, not C++. But I mean, you've got a lot of browsers and video games built off of C++, as well as a lot of applications as well too. I mean, it's very performant. It's flexible, and it's actually flexible, performant. Plus, it's low level, of course. Concurrency is another aspect that it can handle, but it's a superset of C, of course, where C is procedural. Um, but when it comes to raw performance, I think C comes into play more than, C++ comes into more play than Rust, to be quite honest. If you had a choice, for me, I'm old school. I am a C++ person. I've learned C++ much easier to learn. It was not easier. I mean, it was easier. Trying to get into Rust a little bit, it's taken me a little bit longer than I anticipated. But if you had to learn programming and you had to start from scratch, yeah, go Python first, then maybe go into C++ or Go, and then go into Rust. Honestly, between those, I don't know what other languages you would want to go out there. Julia is really meant for, like, more specifically for the data sciencey world, the data science world, more than anything else. Uh, um, what else? Haskell, another pretty good one, as well as Clojure, but those are more specifically for like functional programming more than anything else, just like F sharp is. C sharp, it's the competitor to Scala and Java anyway, so I wouldn't worry too much about it. I don't know any other languages out there. There might be some more, but my mind's like drawing a blank right now. I'm so used to C++, Python, and C++ and Python more than anything else. Scala, not so strong, and of course Java. I understand it, but I suck at it. I'll be honest with that. Um, Go and Rust, something I'm getting into at this point, and I could see the benefits of Go, but I could definitely see why Rust is gaining a lot more momentum and popularity. To be quite honest, I can see it now. Um, but in any case, let me know what you think. Please leave your thoughts in the comment section and let me know what you think. What your preferences are. Which one do you think it is? I could have got into more. I didn't want to create those, like, bullet points on there and such for in this situation, or power deck or anything like that. This is something for me, when it comes to my channel, I like to like freebase and just talk out of the blue. It's up to you, what you choose. Again, it ultimately comes down to the project and what you're trying to do, basically, and then you can choose the language from there, and like what other aspects are supported, what other things are supported from that perspective as well too. If you're doing front end development, then maybe that's something different. You want to use one of the JS scripts, basically, whether it be Node, React, Vue, or whatever it be. I'm not going to get into that, or even Ruby on Rails, etc. But outside of that, yeah, and of course, please subscribe to my channel when you subscribe. Outside of that, yeah, a lot more of my channels will become a little bit more tech focused, but you'll see a lot of my channel videos being mostly about my opinions and my opinions alone, and like, it's not really like actual fact checks per se. This is just based on experience, or to, I mean, sometimes I could be mixing up things here and there, but it's based on experience, but mostly opinions more than anything else. Outside of that, yeah, please let me know what you think. I will read your comments and and such, and also please subscribe to as well too if you can. More subscribers, the better, of course, right? I mean, if you subscribe to me, I will definitely subscribe to you as well, too, at that point. Well, until next time, unfiltered, unedited, and unrehearsed.